Welcome, brave viewers, to a terrifying experience that will make your blood run cold. On this occasion, we bring you a story that combines terror, suspense, and a group of intrepid explorers willing to face a legendary monster in the swamps of Caddo Lake. Are you ready to step into the unknown? Let's get started. In the dark swamps of Caddo Lake lies a story that defies reason and tests the courage of brave explorers. With you, a group of 6 brave explorers, determined to discover the truth behind the legend of the Caddo Lake Monster. In the state of Texas there is a group of recently arrived explorers, seeking to confirm if the legend of the Caddo Lake Swamp Monster is real, a place where people have mysteriously disappeared over time. For several days, these intrepid adventurers embarked on a mission that would take them deep into the swamps. Equipped with cameras and flashlights, they ventured into the unknown in search of evidence to confirm or deny the existence of the monster. In a rather hostile terrain, the group of explorers continue their march, looking for a dry place to camp. Not only worried about the existence of the monster, but also about the animals that are in the area, crocodiles, poisonous snakes and other animals that could make their lives hell. Upon finding a clearing surrounded by giant trees around them, the explorers decide that this is the best place to camp and rest for a few hours, knowing that the next day they will get to work exploring, searching for evidence to reveal the mystery that encloses the swamp with the history of the monster. The next day, with the first rays of the sun filtering through the branches of the trees, the explorers are already up and ready to go deeper into the swamp in search of evidence. Tension in the group increases as they move deeper into the swamp. Strange noises, movements and the feeling of being watched haunt them. Suspense hangs over them like a shadow. Arriving at specific coordinates in the area, they unload their backpacks and work tools to look for footprints, bones, hair and other types of evidence to know if the animal that the stories tell exists or existed. After an hour of research in such hostile terrain, the explorers decide to spread out further to cover a larger area. One of the 6 explorers named Martin, known as the prankster of the group, had strayed too far from his coworkers. When he realized this situation, his concern increased because he did not know where the group was, trying to find their tracks to return. The way he came, he realized that he was completely lost, and at that precise moment he began to hear heavy footsteps approaching him with the creaking of dry branches that were abundant on the ground. Already panicking, he began to speed up his pace, trying to get away from those footsteps that were stalking him. After a while walking quickly, he realized that he no longer heard the footsteps that were stalking him closely. He decided to lean against a tree to listen to them. He catches his breath, thinking that the worst was over, and in an instant he looks behind the tree where he was lying, seeing behind him a 3-meter-tall figure tearing his throat with enormous, sharp claws that cause him to bleed into the air. And that monstrosity took the opportunity to devour it. A scream of agony is lost in the fog before he is silenced forever. Meanwhile, the group that had already gathered to look for Martin heard the heartbreaking scream that faded into the silence of the swamp. With the panic increasing, the group decides to run through the camp to take refuge in the tents and think about whose heartbreaking scream it might be and if it belonged to Martin. As the days pass, the monster continues hunting them one by one. Fear and paranoia consume them. The 5 survivors decide to abandon the search and quickly get out of that swamp of hell. While they are divided into 2 groups, one to dismantle the camp, and the other group, remaining, to return to collect the tools and evidence that they had abandoned the day before, terrified by the scream of suffering. They decide to go look for the material. They are Laura, Pedro, and Maria, while Juan and Monica were left dismantling the camps. The group where Laura, Pedro and Maria are have to separate a few meters when they arrive at the exploration site to collect all the samples and tools. Pedro must collect some of the samples where they were left near the lake. When he is with his back to the lake, Pedro feels a hand. Giant, who comes out from under the water hugging, his leg dragging him towards the lake, flooding his body completely, without his companions who were a few meters away realizing it. The next to fall is Laura, who is surprised from behind, feeling a hug wrapping around her, taking her to the swamp, and then it is Maria's turn, who disappears into the undergrowth, only leaving a heartbreaking echo of her voice. Finally, only Juan and Monica remain, terrified by Maria's last scream, suspecting that her friends were already dead. Decide to finish gathering some things to run away from the place, to survive. After having everything ready, before leaving, Monica and Juan look one last time at the path where they went to look for the samples, Laura, Pedro, and Maria hoping that they would appear, and the only thing they saw was the presence of the swamp monster in their splendor coming to them. It was a beast of imposing height with large claws and scales with bloody fangs from its latest victims. Seeing that abomination, Juan tells Maria, "We will not be able to survive. If we run away it will catch up with us. And I decided to face the beast while I give you time to run with all your strength," Juan told Monica. Monica told him crying, "No, let's shoot from here together, just Monica run." And Monica decides to flee while Juan waits for the beast. When Monica desperately runs for her life, the monster attacks Juan, burying his claws in his stomach, making him scream in agonizing pain, while Monica continues running with all her strength trying to reach the road to be saved. When Monica looks back and sees that the monster does not appear, she thinks that she could have lost it. Until the beast appears in front of her without giving her the opportunity to flee, the beast with a single blow with its arm tears Monica's head from her body, falling. The headless body on the ground moving with the last reflections that remained in it. The beast grabs Monica's body and carries it away into the swamp with one last scream from the monster that echoes throughout the swamp. There is history that it is better to never investigate and let things that the explorers did not foresee remain only in a story. I send you greetings, and if you liked the story, give it a like. Follow the channel, and activate the bell to find out about new horror stories and legends.